Hey there, I am so excited to be here and chat with you all a little bit about the value of thought leadership on social media. We get so many questions on, does it work for B2B? Does it work for B2C? How can we track success? And so I know you guys are all probably well-versed marketers, so I'll skip over some of the brief stuff or just the basics, but it hopefully will be a good refresher for you guys as well. And then I want to provide some insight and some thoughts and tips and tricks to ramp up your social media presence for your company or the company you work at. So let's just dive right in. I want to start with some trends and consumer expectations. And so focusing on the millennial buyer, they are so much more educated, one, before they make a purchasing decision, but also before they join a company. So to hit on the B2B side, especially social media just plays such a big part in that piece. They're going to be looking for your brand and your company and the company you work at on these social sites instead of just, relying on the glass doors out there. Also, Instagram stories is such a huge trend these days and something that we've been able to capitalize on. It's a way to show the behind the scenes and your culture and fun snippets of information. And then, of course, video. You guys all know video is certainly taking over, especially live video. So I'm excited to be on this webinar and live with you guys as well. Messaging apps, and I think this hits on that consumer or customer service experience. People expect a response super quick. And so some of these great messaging apps have started to help with that. So what we're going to talk about today, just high-level strategy, just some quick overview notes, some proof of concept and some things that we've learned along the way, and some case studies of what we've seen for brands that we've worked with, and then how to stand out. So jumping into the strategy, just on social media, these hopefully will just be good refreshers for everyone, but frequency. So what we find most successful on Facebook is 3 to 5 times per week. And we say that with kind of a grain of salt. It's certainly pay to play. So we suggest boosting posts once they've reached over 1,000 impressions, all of your Facebook posts. So boosting those and putting an ad budget behind your Facebook. Instagram, 1 to 3 times per day is a great starting point. Instagram stories daily and frequently if possible. We'll skip to LinkedIn for now, but LinkedIn daily as well. And we also highly suggest creating some sort of gamification or encouraging your team and your colleagues to be sharing the posts that are shared on the business page to their personal LinkedIn pages as well. And that will help drive people back to the corporate page so that people know more about what you guys are doing. It establishes you and your company as thought leaders in the space. And then on Twitter, 3+ times per day would be the bare minimum there. As far as timing, so on Facebook, weekends between 1 and 4 are best. And also, these are just, we're being a generalist in this conversation here. You'll want to study the analytics of what works best for you and your company or the company that you work at. Instagram's Monday, early AM and late PM. Stories, Instagram stories, early evening. Whereas Twitter are weekdays between 9 and 3. And LinkedIn weekdays as well during the workday, noon and 5 p.m. So content planning. And so when you're building out your content strategy, you really want to hit on these 3 cylinders. The first being entertain and inspire. And a few ways to do that is think about the 80-20% rule. 80% of what you're posting should be entertaining and really inspiring your reader and listener and customer and follower, whereas 20% of what you're posting would actually be encouraging people with a call to action to take that next step. Maybe that is, head to our website to follow our newsletter, to learn more, or fill out this form, come into our store. So 20% of the content that you're posting can be related to the brand, whereas 80% can be more entertaining and inspiring and thought leadership. And really think about, what does your customer or that future hire, what are they interested in reading, and what type of information would they like to consume, and really making sure you understand your audience. So developing those customer personas and learning where do they shop and what do they eat and what are their purchasing habits, so that you can understand who you're talking to, so that the content you're planning actually does truly entertain and inspire them. That second cylinder, engage. So talking to your customers. I think the thing that oftentimes is forgotten is that social media is supposed to be social. It's supposed to be a platform where people can have conversations. So engage with them, ask for their opinion, give them an opportunity to be a part of your brand and your company. Polls do really well. Question-based content does really well. The more that they can feel like they're a part and they have a say in what you're doing online, or just join that conversation, is extremely important. And then the third cylinder, retain and promote. So how can you spread your message and tell your story, but be very authentic to you and your brand? I think it's very easy to have almost imposter syndrome of seeing all these other great brands out there and what they're doing and feeling like you have to do it all. But make sure that you're really authentic to your company and your brand, and not trying to be what everyone else is online, because people can weed through that very quickly. And respond quickly. So in order to retain your customer base and your followers and then promote continued engagement, you want to make sure you're responding quickly. So just a couple fun case studies and things that we've seen, especially on the B2B side. And I think, again, that's one of the bigger questions that we get asked, like, does this work? What is the impact? Why am I spending time on this? And so Secure America is one of our partners, and just the impact over a 6-month period we've seen is wonderful. And this is organic. Over close to 700,000 impressions and close to 3,000 clicks to their website. And so we were able to drive their followers to their website to learn more, to get involved in their company, to read customer testimonials, or officer spotlights. So this company, they really showcase their culture through their social media pages, so that people are more, they trust them and they value their opinion, and so it leads them to the next step, which is to their website. Another really fun thing that we've seen, and just these small pieces of information. So with the Genesee General, they were trying to get a new client. We tweeted something really great on social media. It was picked up and retweeted by this huge industry-wide publication. And actually one of their potential prospects and customers saw that tweet on the larger publication and reached out and just said, hey, they noticed it and they acknowledged it. So that was an opportunity for them, the business owner, to reach out and say, hey, thanks for following along. Let's grab coffee. It's just another opportunity for them to jump in and share their level of experience and share some more about their business. So just these small things continue to add up. And sometimes I think it is difficult for people to articulate, I saw that one Facebook post and then that one tweet, I was served a newsletter, and that's why I reached out 5 months later. But all of these things serve as impressions for your company, and also opportunities for you to stay in front of people in a thoughtful way, so that when they are ready to make a purchase, they do think about you. Tin Lizzie's is a little bit more on the B2C side, but for those of you who live in Atlanta, we came up with a promotion for $1.85 margaritas once the bridge collapse was back up. And social proof on this one, they sold out of margaritas at every location that day. So it was really exciting to see just the virality of something like that, and the shares and the comments, and people saying, hey, I'm bringing my entire staff, just by coming up and leveraging social media to stay in front of those customers. And then last example here, we work with a really great brand called Sifted, and they offer catered meal delivery to office space. So they are B2B, they're trying to attract new businesses, and we've been able to run really successful ads, and that hit specifically to the HR directors and the decision makers through Facebook and LinkedIn. And the majority of their business now is coming in from the social advertising and the social content creation. So there's so much value in just being present on these platforms. And for them, another great example is if one of the employees at the company that they'd like to be doing businesses sees their page and understands the value and gets engaged with their story, they're far more likely to tell that HR professional, hey, have you heard of Sifted? And it could be a really neat option for our entire team. So a few ways to stand out and just some general tips. Humanize the company. People want to do business with companies that they feel a genuine connection with. You know, you don't want to be cold and stiff on social media. It again, should be a conversation. So social media gives you the opportunity to humanize the company, talk about the culture, and think about it as an extension of your in-person networking. So the more people that you can connect with and get in front of, online and offline, you just have a greater chance of increasing that through social. I think it's a great fact that 80% of B2B leads come in from LinkedIn. So it's certainly not a site that should be overlooked, especially if you are considering marketing. And then social media gives you an opportunity to establish your thought leadership in this space. And I think if you research your competitors, most likely most of them are not really leveraging social media to build that relationship, and it gives you an opportunity to be ahead of them in the market. A few other ideas. So advertising. Again, I know you guys are established advertisers, but especially on social media, pay to play. So boosting high performing posts. You can also run a clever hashtag campaign. So with that Tin Lizzie's example, we did an I-85 hashtag campaign. We joined, the local network. We hashtagged Atlanta, and so we joined larger conversations to get in front of more people. But be creative. So this also translates to your company. You could be creative with GIFs and videos and customer testimonials. And if your voice online is a little bit more clever and witty, throw in memes and jump on trending topics. It's, who knows, it may be National Cupcake Day today or Donut Day tomorrow. And if that's relevant for your business, or you can find a way to bring in donuts for the team and then take a picture about it and jump on that topic, it's a really great way to get creative. Asking questions is another one, which we touched on a little bit. But I think the biggest value, and just speaking from experience with my business, is sharing the behind the scenes and the culture. People, the majority of, I think, of our team has actually come from social media platforms. They use social media as that proof of, are you a legitimate company? Are you credible? What is your culture? What is the behind the scenes? And from a B2B perspective, yes, you can drive business and establish that thought leadership, but just on a recruiting standpoint, there's so much value in being on social media for new employees as well. And then giveaways if you're B2C, or cross collaboration. So maybe you can partner with another business that attracts similar customers and offer some sort of promotion or holiday giveaway. Just a couple more examples of how you can leverage Instagram specifically for B2B. We work with a great company called Big Nerd Ranch. This was their feed on the left side prior to, and we're starting to establish more of a story on the right side. We're tying in their core colors, and we're showing a little bit of like their nerdy environment and how much fun they have. And it's we've incorporated videos and some GIFs, but hopefully you can see the difference in just the brand aesthetic and the story we're telling on that brand. And same with Sifted, another B2B company. On the left was their feed beforehand. And if someone was, searching their company and interested in working with them, I'm not quite sure if that would have translated into looks delicious, I want to order this for my team. Whereas now we're telling that story through beautiful content. We're tying in their voice to that as well. So in summary, really building relationships and not just focusing on those profiles and getting that content out. Make sure you're super responsive and authentic to your brand. And share your culture and share your raving fans and talk about the exciting customers you have. Share their testimonials that they've posted on Google on your social sites and tag them. And make sure you're always reporting and analyzing and testing because it doesn't happen overnight, and you're going to want to be receptive to what's working and what's not working. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at info@or shan@, or if you just want to have a conversation about social media, I would love to chat. Thanks.